I be wanting a girlfriend so bad. Wife, kids, marriage, all that. And then I see stuff like this, and I want to die alone.
You get cheated on in the middle of a vacation.
Please, don't do anything, please. I mean it. Like, I really mean it.
I told you for the millionth time. I don't want to do nothing, bro. I don't want your account. I don't want you to block no one. I don't even want you 6 feet from me, girl. I want you to pack your things. You're going home. That's it. That's it. There's not much to talk about. There's not much to talk.
Millionaire boyfriend or be with a broke loyal guy? Keep it 100, man.
That's a hard one, huh?
Keep it 100.
Broken loyal or cheating?
He's giving you the lifestyle. He's amazing, great connection, but from time to time he steps out and cheats.
But is it
It's
cheating?
like an open relationship.
Yeah, is this an
No,
open relationship?
close on your end, open on his end.
That's
Shit.
why can't I have fun?
Why you gotta be broke?
This is hard.
Come on now, come on.
Can we phone a friend?
No,
what's
no. Don't look at her. Don't look at her. She can't help you.
So the connection's there on both.
Connection's there on both sides,
real.
but he's just broke, and the other
Like, I
guy's
also
giving
take-
you everything you want. He just from time to time won't fuck
I'll
with bitch
take
from
the
time to time.
millionaire that cheats.
I'm
whatever.
taking the cheater too.
Yeah.
Because we living good.
Yeah.
At least.
And this shows, y'all, this shows that if a
can just be
man's
in a
value is high enough, he will be shared.
It's not ideal. I'm not happy about it.
Bro, it's crazy. In this world, if you're successful, you can get away with anything, bro. You can get away with anything. That's crazy. These ladies do not have their priorities straight. Why? Like, it's crazy. But, like, why? Well, if you want money so bad, why can't you make the money? I don't understand why you need a rich person who cheats on you.
No one has seen more men break down in tears while their kids get taken away, the equity in their home gets stolen, their retirement, their pension gets stolen by these judges. They have so much to lose. Women don't have these things to lose.
Yeah, we do. How can you say that a woman doesn't have equity in a house to
I can say that because I've been practicing for 20 years.
But I know, but women also can make money. Like, there could be marriages where the woman makes more money.
Listen, there are the LeBron James of women, all right? But I'm not talking about these special cases. I'm talking about in general. If you want to sit here and tell me that women in general lose their kids, you're crazy.
No, but
Of course they don't.
it's well, some women do if they're like alcohol abuse or
not
something.
in general.
I think what you're saying, there's exceptions and there are rules.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know if
And-
Madison was intentionally being disagreeable. Respect. Define disagreeable for women.
Yeah.
If she's going out, it's a deal breaker for me. Huge red flag. That for me, it's a deal breaker. I totally agree.
Why is that a deal breaker? Is it because it makes you insecure?
It has nothing to do with insecurity. It's
What
just
It actually has everything to do with insecurity, but not in the sense that she was trying to argue. If you allow your girl to go to parties and clubs without you, where she will most definitely be sexually or romantically advanced on by other guys, and also potentially put in dangerous situations where she can be taken advantage of, that will 100% produce insecurity. But it's not just some internal insecurity that women like to accuse and shame men for having when they express their disapproval of allowing their partners to go partying without them. It's a practical and logically grounded insecurity, not only in the mind of the man, but in the stability of the relationship. We have to be very honest with ourselves when we think about the motives behind going to parties and clubs, especially without a significant other. The most prominent reason people would express for wanting to go on a night out would be to socialize, let loose, and have fun. But I would bet that an almost equally as prominent reason people have, but would be reluctant to admit, is the surplus opportunity it provides for romantic and sexual advances. Now, as a man, these potential encounters are easier to avoid considering the burden is on us to initiate the advancement. But as a woman who is even remotely attractive, these encounters are almost impossible to avoid. You will be approached by men if you go out partying. Now, knowing the underlying truth behind the motives and awareness of people who like to go to clubs and parties, you gotta start to wonder why a woman in a committed relationship would even want to put herself in those situations. And some might argue that she just wants to go out with her friends and have fun, but that's not a good enough excuse considering the numerous other things you could do with your friends to have fun. As a woman, you know you'll be hit on if you go out partying. You know you'll be presented with potentially tempting opportunities and situations by the many guys that will approach you. And men without a doubt fully understand the potential dangers of allowing his girl to go partying by herself. All those situations unnecessarily expose the relationship to instability and insecurity. And no man wants to feel like there's even a chance of his relationship not being stable or secure. That's why it's easier for him to just prevent the avoidable situations from happening. That internal insecurity a man feels only starts to manifest itself when his girl expresses a desire to put herself in those situations and frequently go out partying without him.
Here's the thing, guys. Let's give you guys an analogy. It's like, imagine you bought yourself a brand new Ferrari 488, right? You pull up in that thing and you're having so much fun. You drive it right off the lot. Are you going to park that in the ghetto? Probably not. Even though nobody will steal it. Let's just say nobody's going to steal it. You don't want to be put in a scenario with that possibility for no reason, right? It's the same thing when your girl goes out and she goes to parties and clubs. It's different because if you're in a scenario where guys are going to hit on you and there is a potential for bad things to happen. So you shouldn't be in that scenario.
Bitch, I said you bad.
Fellas, y'all gotta stop falling for it. Y'all gotta stop falling for it. That's why when I say they pull back, you pull back too. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when girls do that, they don't be uninterested. They do that to control the leverage, to have leverage. They do it to control the pace of shit. They do it to see how much you like them. But had you be patient, had you just waited out and she reach out to you, now you controlling the tempo of things, man. Sometimes, man, you just gotta be patient. Your day will come.
Hey, babe, I got your frosting.
Oh, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Girls think you're unattractive, and a lot of like guys who are newer to dating must understand. The girl up front, like to her face, of all of the boring stuff that they do with their lives. She asks like, oh hey, like did you have a good day? What did you do today? And the boring guy who's unattracted to girls will answer her questions seriously because he's never been taught this by like
It hurts a man or a woman more.
I think it hurts a man more because y'all aren't prepared for it.
Not only are men not prepared for it because they'll have the mindset, she'll never do that to me. Unpopular opinion. Men love harder than women do.
And it's sad because, you know, a lot of guys really just love to give their love to someone, and like a lot of girls know that and they take advantage of it. Like, I really don't see a lot of guys, now I know it happens on the other side, but I don't see a lot of guys who love taking advantage of a girl's love and just going out there and doing that. I really see it nowadays on the other side.
You're in the right place, because today we're going to talk about compensatory masculinity.
Quick context. This is about a study where they either made men do masculine things or they made them do feminine things, and then they let them choose between either sitting in a room and doing nothing or they let them punch a punching bag. And the men that were forced to do feminine things were a lot more likely to choose the punching bag as a form of compensatory masculinity, which is how they make up for a threat on their masculinity with just more masculine behavior. And on the surface, yeah, it's a goofy, funny study, whatever, but when you look deeper, you realize that it's actually the reason why most school and other violent crimes are predominantly committed by men. I learned this from an interview with an ex-president of the American Psychological Association, Ronald Levant, who studies mainly masculinity. And he talks about this very study. But then he goes on to talk about a database of young men who have committed school. And he says that 18 of them mention masculinity, specifically threatened masculinity. Boys who are bullied for not being sufficiently masculine, men who can't get a date with women, just men who in various ways feel that they do not measure up. Now here's the crazy part. He says that he's found that on average, most men do not endorse traditional masculine norms. That is the emotionless, lack of empathy, hyper-independent type of masculine norm. But there's a minority of men who do, who feel ashamed of themselves for violating those norms. And then he talks about another really peculiar study he did, where he finds a bunch of men that don't fit the traditional masculine stereotype, and he has them on flashcards write down the biggest things that they're ashamed of. And he says the shameful secrets that men would never tell anybody were all about violating masculine norms. I backed down from a fight in school. I had a crush on another boy. I was too close to my mother. As a boy, I cried too often. It almost breaks your heart. These are 40 or 50-year-old men who feel ashamed of themselves for things that are just basically human. So you would think that we see the issue, right? That threatened masculinity is a huge issue because it has strong ties to acts of violence. And that's in big part because we still uphold all these old school beliefs that men shouldn't really be human and they shouldn't be emotional. Until you see this. Here is one screenshot of some of the top comments on that video. Why are they so sensitive? Literally, how are women branded as more emotional? I can't believe they tried to convince us we're the drama queens. We're doing...
You want some?
No! Dad! Why every man has the answer to literally absolutely everything. Because they've had to do everything for everyone their entire life. And even when they don't know, their number one response is I'll figure it out.
That's true. At its core, men are problem solvers. We see a problem, we may not know how to fix it, but we'll figure out how to do it. That's literally how we are. That's why we're so good at engineering. We're so good at the sciences, the logics, because it's all about solving problems. That's what men are here to do, solve problems.
For me to be comfortable, like staying at home and not working, I feel like this is gonna sound bad. I feel like 300,000. I guess if they made less than that, I feel like we wouldn't have the lifestyle I wanted, so I would work.
What lifestyle is that?
Anywhere from 70 to 100K. $500,000. I know that 1% of men make $500,000, or like less than 1% of men or something.
Probably 150 to $250,000 a year.
If your wife can spend more than you make, like you need to make more money. So it really just depends. 150 maybe to 250,000 a year would be comfortable for sure.
How can you ask for equality and also promote such a parasitic lifestyle at the same time?
Ideally, my husband needs to be making like 650,000. If I was making significantly less than a partner, it would make me feel insecure, like I wasn't on the same level as them. Not that I'm trying to like be super equal with my partner.
I'll give y'all some advice. Never mess with a girl who has a boyfriend. Now hear me out, not just because, you know, morals or whatever, like, because some of y'all, we know y'all don't got morals. The reason I'm telling y'all never mess with a girl who has a boyfriend, because they will do anything to make it seem like they didn't cheat. You ask her, what do you mean they'll do anything to make it seem like they didn't cheat? Bro, these women will lie on you. They will lie. They will lie. You, especially if any type of alcohol is involved. She could have just dipped her pinky in some tequila and placed it on her tongue, and she'll say you spiked her drink, just to get out of it. They would lie about anything. Let me give y'all an example. I was messing with this girl, right? She was talking about, when you gonna try to link me, She was asking me to come over, all this different stuff. I'm like, all right, so one day I was like, all right, so when we gonna link? I was like, all right, let me come over. She was like, I never said we was hanging out, She deleted all her messages that looked like I made it seem like it was me. She deleted all her messages and make it seem like it was me asking her to link when she was telling me to come to her house. She made it seem like, you know how on Instagram you can unsend messages? She made it seem like I was talking to myself, but like any person with a brain can see that she was responding and I was responding to what she was saying, right? Anyway, moral of the story is, bro, never mess with a girl who got a boyfriend, because you will get jammed up and it ain't even worth it for real.
A guy that you wanted but couldn't get?
No. And men are fucking easy.
You think so?
Yeah.
So you can hit somebody up right now, one of your friends, guy friends, and say, let's fuck. Will they do it?
Men are fucking easy, dude.
Try it. I want to see it.
I ain't even know that shit.
These are 5 signs you're dealing with a toxic chick and it's time to walk away. A lot of y'all be scared to walk away. Y'all be like, oh, she's the best thing in the world. Her pussy's good. Man, listen. There's 4 billion chicks on earth. Be a fucking man. 1. Anytime you guys go through relationship issues, right? She's going to post an Instagram story or meme that relates to the situation, right? She's basically letting other dudes know, my dude fucked up. I need a shoulder to cry on. And a shoulder to cry on becomes a dick to ride on. Come on, fellas. The easiest way to get a girl to cheat on her man, which is when they're going through shit, right? A breakup or just going through shit in general, right? You know why? Women react off emotions, right? As soon as I see them quotes on her story, I'm going to slide on her DM like, you good? You know why? A shoulder to cry on becomes a dick to ride on. 2, anytime a relationship get rocky, right? She threatens to leave. Oh, I'm going to leave you if you don't do this. Shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck. I'm him. I'm him Duncan. I'm Himothy. A lot of y'all dudes be like, no, baby, I'll do whatever to fix this. Nigga, what? You crazy as hell. There's 4 billion chicks on earth and you chasing that little... She mid, bruh. 3, she runs to her family with all y'all problems, right? Guess what? She might forgive you, your girl, right? But her family won't. And things will never be the same between y'all. 4, she loves to fight and argue. She don't like to talk things out. A relationship will never work like this. You know why? Because things will never get solved. You got to be a problem solver when it comes to issues. 5, she got no sense of accountability, right? Let's say you approach her like, babe, I want you to work on this or fix this for the sake of our relationship, right? She's going to get defensive and want to argue right away, right? Instead of saying, you know what, babe, I'll work on this and I'll fix it.
What about the talk? Women are more mature than men of the same age. I've heard people say women have a mind at least 5 years ahead of a man at the same age. I don't believe this stat at all anymore. Growing up, I heard this same stat, and I'm like, oh yeah, girls are more mature. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. As you get older, you start to realize how immature women are. Us men talk about it all the time. You got to deal with their petty behavior. You got to deal with their immature emotions, and they can't control their emotions most of the time. This is not all, but this is some. Every time a woman in her younger years makes a mistake, what do most people say, men and women? Oh, she's young, she's naive, she'll learn as she gets older, right? But us boys have to be accountable. Women don't have to be accountable when they're young, and this is the best example I can get, and I don't want any smoke for it. You cheat on a man in his younger years, he most likely not gonna take that woman back. You cheat on a woman in her younger years, I bet you she take that man back.